Oh. Today on JS Performance Shop, we're going to be installing a new Tanks INC fuel tank in our 71 GMC. I'm just getting tired of trying to use the factory tank. It's not working with the LS swap. So I got this one's set up for EFI. Comes with the pump and everything. It's supposed to be kind of a kit. We're going to have to drill some holes, a little bit of modification, but shouldn't be too bad. I haven't even opened it up yet, so we'll go ahead and open it up and take a look. I'm a little worried about the packaging. I ordered this from Summit. It came from Ontario, thank God. But still, it's a long ways to come. I'm in BC, so it's basically across the country. Okay. Okay, this says Tanks INC fuel pump module, made in the United States. GPA-4. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. Fuel sender, 0 to 90 ohm, made in India. Okay. This feels like probably the filler neck hose. And then some packaging. The tank is actually packaged in a separate box. Oh, yeah, these. Whoop. Whew. For use by qualified installers only. I guess I'm qualified. Oh, and made in Taiwan. So we have a multicultural tank here. That I don't know if I'm crazy about. It looks like it was taped up and then re-taped at some point. I hope it's not a return. Okay, so far so good. No dents or anything that I can see. Yeah, actually looks really good. Finish is nice. Flanges and everything are nice and straight. They actually feel pretty solid. I was worried that these were going to be kind of flimsy, but they're not. I know that Aeromotive has a kit that's similar. I think Tanks INC actually makes their tank. Has similar mounting pieces, but then they use straps underneath going like frame rail to frame rail. I was a little worried with this kit not having those to be an issue, but it doesn't seem like it. This tank actually mounts like this. We're gonna have a filler here, which will be in this area. Sending unit goes here, and it goes into a nice, oh yeah, nice EFI baffle. So your pump doesn't get starved. And then the sender goes in this location here. I believe technically if you want to, you could put the pump here. But there's no baffle, so I really suggest putting it here. I'll go ahead and get you guys in here. We'll take a closer look. You can see the quality. Okay, so those are the boxes that came in. Kind of interesting. Two different logos. That was the outside box. That's the, that was the inside box, different logo. I mean, the newer logo or whatever, the outside logo looks better. This is the tank. You can tell it's made for them because it says right on it, Tanks, in quotes. Kind of similar to their old logo there or whatever, the inside box. This might be hard to pick up, but there is a baffle in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that's perfect for EFI. We're going to go ahead and get everything installed on top of the tank first before installation. So we're going to get the pump put in and the sender put in, and I might as well get the neck installed on this, I guess. And We'll probably tape it off so nothing gets in there when it's underneath the truck. Okay, I think the easiest thing to start with is let's look at the fuel pump module. Now, what the hell? What did I do with my knife? Okay. So this actually says made in the United States. I believe, reading some reviews online, it's a Walboro. We will see. Okay. So it came with whatever's in here. I assume that's the pump. Sleeve. Pigtail. I assume that goes on the pump, then up to the flange. A little filter sock. A couple zip ties. And instructions. Because these do need to be... So one thing, it's the one thing with these tanks, they're a little bit cheaper. I was originally going to go with an Aeromotive tank, which I believe is actually a Tanks INC tank that they've already installed their pump and everything. These are designed for the truck, but none of the holes are drilled out. You got to drill your own holes. And you got to set up the sender and the pump at the right depth. So it's kind of a universal thing, but it does fit the truck. It's ordered for the truck. So it explains here, looks like fairly good instructions. I actually tried finding these instructions before the tank showed up. I tried finding them on their site and I couldn't find them. So be careful with these. Okay. This is the sender. This will be the return. You cut that at an angle. And this will be the feed from the pump. Not sure I'm 100% impressed with that. It's not a Walboro. It does say made in the United States, but it's a TI Automotive. Kind of interesting. Okay, so it says in here, measure the depth of your tank by inserting a ruler. I don't have a damn ruler. Maybe if I was a qualified installer, I'd have a ruler. Down the 2 1/8 diameter accessory opening in your tank. I assume that's that one. Determine the length of your supply and return tubes. Determine the return and supply tubes, the lengths determined in step 1. For GPA 5, GPA 6, GPA 8, 9, inch and 5/8 return IC reverse side. Okay, that's for bigger pumps. It's a little different. And they could do this a little better. It's kind of hard to show here, guys. But it looks like they basically want the pump more or less right on the bottom. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up so the pump is just a hair off the bottom. Like, I don't know, maybe like around 1/8 of an inch, something like that. I mean, obviously you don't want it like 1 inch off the bottom, then you're never going to suck up that fuel. So you want it really close. I got my qualified ruler, also known as a tape measure. We'll take a look here and see what our depths are. It's just over 9.5. So I'm going to set everything at 9.5. And I'll lift the pump just off the bottom. And we should be okay. The one thing I did not... As this rolls around. The one thing I did not see here is there's supposed to be a gasket. It might be in this other stuff. So cork gaskets, nice screws that actually have a socket head or a Phillips with a rubber washer underneath. So that's what we'll be needing. This is a filler neck. Alrighty. And this is your rollover valve and vent. Looks like I'm going to need a piece of hose for that. Let's go ahead and get this sock installed on the bottom of this pump. that. I want it something like that. Is this thing? Nope, it just pushes on. Okay, I believe that's on. It does have like a little plastic deal. You know what, maybe? I think if you do touch it around the bottom, you'll be okay. I think it would still suck. I still would like to have just that little bit of gap there. What did I say this was? 9.5? Yeah, just over 9.5. Okay. We are way too long. It's looking to me if I cut this black hose just over the 5" from the bottom of the flange, we should be okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do. Here, I thought of something here. Let's just see. How long is this thing? Yeah, it's basically right at 4.5. So that makes, no, sorry, 4. My math's a little wrong here. It's right at 4 3/4. But then again, you get that. This is probably about 3/4. Yeah, just around 3/4. So yeah, we'll still cut that a smidge over 5". We should be, because the other thing you got to take into account is you're gonna have a gasket here. And they're actually fairly thick. I think they're 1/8". So that's gonna lift up the whole assembly. So I'm gonna cut this at like 5 and like a 1/16. It's a little bit of a burr in there. I'm just gonna take my X-Acto. Scrape that out. Not 100% straight, but it should be all right. I'm actually going to get the sock on here. I've seen some guys had to trim down this sock actually. No, this one should be okay. I think we'll be all right with this. Oh, I'm actually going to take a picture of the numbers on this pump because I want to know what this is for sure. I got to shut you guys off though because I'm using my phone. I just want to know what this is. Okay, so this is a Walboro pump. TI is Walboro, and it's a 255 liter per hour and supports up to 630 horse apparently. Well, I'm nowhere near that, so that should be good. We'll go ahead and get the sleeve on here. It's a little long, but I'll sleeve the excess at the top. This guy's cut down. Get this hose clamp on here. It also says, there's a white sleeve on this pump. It says to leave that on. You can tell it's been heated up on there. It also says to heat up this pipe to get it on. So I'm gonna go get my torch. We'll just gently heat this. You gotta make sure you got that hose clamp on there. I mean, worst case, you can take it apart and put it over top. That's probably way overkill, but I don't actually have a heat gun with me. I'm trying to line up the plug for the electrical connections. Okay, that's about as far as that's going to go. How's our depth before I get all crazy here? We're a smidge over 9.5. So with the gasket, we'll be right where I want to be. Okay. Oh, yeah. So I just checked their hose clamps. They are slightly loose. So I'll go ahead and give those a tighten if you're doing this. Okay, we can go ahead and cut this return. They're saying the return should be about 1 inch off. So I'm just going to cut it 1 inch back from the bottom of this sock. Right about there. So they're saying you want the return to be cut in at an angle. You want the 1 inch at the bottom-ish. I mean, I'm sure it's a little off. It'll be okay. In my professional installer opinion. We'll cut that off angle, and you want the angle, the long side to be against the pump, and the short side to be shooting out into the tank. I should have probably cut this before I put the pump together. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll deal with it. Something to that effect. And of course, it's got a little crusty there, so I'm, again, trusty Olfa knife. We'll just clean this up. And it says then to zip tie this against the pump. Of course, they give you handy dandy zip ties. These are some really weird zip ties. Okay. I feel like an idiot right now, but apparently I don't know how to use these. Oh, I see, they go through this way. Alright. Stupid me. Actually, those zip ties are nice. And I assume you don't want those tails sitting in there. So I'm just gonna... you know what? Let's cauterize them at the same time. Perfect. Little sharp ends. That's how the pump looks so far. We still have to do the electrical. My angle returns a little, should have been a little bit more this way, but whatever. I think next step is wiring. It says connect. It says connect your intake wire harness to the fuel pump. Make sure the connections are secure. Route the wires through the pass-through fitting. Make sure to leave a little slack to prevent strain or chafing. Use a 9mm. See, professionals would have that. 9mm wrench to tighten the upper jam nut on the wire pass-through until the wire no longer moves. Be careful not to over-tighten it. You could break the fitting or cause a leak. Okay, so this has a nice pigtail. Clips in nicely. So this passes through. Let's see here. Maybe I gotta loosen them first. I think we'll get a 9mm. Figure this out. Believe it or not, I actually do have a 9mm. A little specialty wrench of some kind. So I actually loosen these. I actually loosen that off. Oh yeah, slides right through now. Okay, I'm gonna leave these as long as I can. Well, actually, I'll push it all the way through now. I might leave like a little bit in there just for strain, so it doesn't get chafed. These are interesting fittings. I've never used anything like that before. There we go. Tighten those down. The only problem with this is actually a box end. Seems nice and tight. Seems nice and tight. Doesn't pull through. I'm assuming that's just biting into the insulation. It says red wire is positive, black wire is ground. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And then it says you should consider installing an access door in the floor above your fuel pump. I I think I got enough access. There's not much wood left. For a better seal, use Permatex part number 85420 gasket dressing and a flange sealant. Okay. When installing your Tanks INC hardware and torque spec is half foot-pound. So in other words, don't be Hercules and try to tighten the hell out of it. Pump connections are 1/4" NPT. I think I have something for that. Use a fuel-proof thread sealer or tape. I just got Permatex. It's the gasoline resistant. For extra venting necessary for fuel injection, we have supplied a 5/16 barb vent fitting. It can be connected to the carbon canister or tanks part number. VVR. Okay, I don't know what they mean by that. Okay, let's go ahead and test fit this. Oh, she's a tight fit. She is a tight one. Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm going to mount it something like that. Actually, probably like, oh, what do I want to do here? So you're going to be like that, or like that. You know, it'll be like that. Return that way, supply that way, then we'll put that vent that way. That should work good. I'm going to pull this back out. So I'm an idiot, forgot to put the gasket on. Man, you could have gave a little bit more wiggle room than that. As you can see, it's got a nice thick cork gasket. If you're running straight E85, I think they make like a neoprene one or something. Something different. Perfect. Okay. Let's try this again. Just want to make sure that sock's on there. It's on there. It hasn't even come close to coming off. I'm paranoid. All right, that's on. We want something like that. Go ahead and screw that on. Oh, of course, these are by a 5/16 or something like that. I actually just got a Felipe. I don't want to over tighten them. Okay, that's the best course of action. I'm going to put one screw through here, then the gasket on the screw, and then line up the screw with the hole. Just get that started. I'll do this one across from it. Things should be relatively lined up. Now these screws are kind of weird. They got an O-ring on them. But I also want to squish this gasket down a bit. I don't want to screw up the O-ring too. Kind of weird. I do see, okay, there is a little bit of torque. There is some torque going against that ring. Like it says in the instructions, guys, this should be all flat. You don't need to send it home. It's nice, snug. I also don't want them loosening off, so I should have put something on them. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is I got some fittings to put in there. I believe I got the right ones. Got these 1/4" NPT fitting. It's actually a hydraulic fitting, goes to hydraulic line or 6AN, same thing. Just steel fitting, which I figured would be better for the steel here. go ahead and get some thread sealant. This is Permatex, just high temperature thread sealant, part number 59206. A little dab will do ya. I'm actually just going to grab a socket for this size. Okay. Those are tight. I mean, maybe an AN fitting would have sat farther in. It did seem to tighten down fairly quick. But I know these are NPT fittings. Okay. Now I'm going to move into the fuel sender. It's going to go right here. And this also, like the pump, needs modification. This is made in India. India. Okay. These are interesting, these things. I was watching online. Kind of seems like it's a pain in the butt. It's your float. Ooh, it's got it's like a treasure map. That's your sender. Doot, doot. I believe we got to take off this one bracket completely. This tank's not that deep. This is, again, kind of a universal thing. Let's see what our treasure map says. For tank depth 6 inch to 15.5. Well, we know we're 9.5. It will be necessary to remove the lower mounting bracket. You know, was it necessary to make this into a treasure map? Begin by removing the 2 screws and nuts from the lower mounting bracket. These will be discarded. Okay. Okay, I see what they're saying. Hopefully I can just do it. I don't have a, well, maybe it's 9mm actually. Oh, no. Okay. No. Some goofy ass other size. One sec. Frick, it's getting hot out here. Okay, it ended up being 9/32. It's probably actually a millimeter because it's from India, but that seemed to fit. Okay, the next thing we got to do is move the 2 screws from the sender itself. It's just threading into plastic, so just be careful. Slide that one bracket out. It's garbage. Now we just adjust this. It's actually fairly simple. It seems kind of like a daunting task. It's not. So I'm just going to put these screws in loose, just so this doesn't fall off. So this is saying you mount the sender half of the tank depth plus 1/8 of an inch because of the gasket. I'm going to measure the depth here because I don't think there's an EFI basket there. Yeah, okay. Plus the 1/8 inch. So it's just, again, it's just slightly over 9.5. So we're already over. So let's just say it's 9.5. Do, 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 do. So what's that, 4 3/4 ish to the actual rheostat in the middle here. Holy, it's got to go way up there. So 4 3/4 right there. So 4 3/4 doubled would be 9.5. And then it's already over, slightly over 9.5. So when we put the gasket on there, am I thinking about this the wrong way? Oh, I really wish I passed grade 10. Oh man. Don't worry, I don't deal with numbers every day. It's 4.5, 4.9. But it's already over. So we're already adding our 1/8 inch. So forget about it. Just forget about the 1/8 inch. Yeah, no, this should be correct. This should be right. I'm gonna go ahead, slide this farther. Actually, first off, okay. It says to cut off the excess. You don't need this excess down here. I mean, is it gonna get in the way though? Where the hell does this float mount? Oh, okay, the float just mounts through there. Well, it's on the way. It's on the way at all. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. Screw it. So we're at 4 3/4. Just here. 4 3/4 right there. I'm just gonna leave this excess wire, guys. It's not hurting anything. It's got a nice, you know, it's all proper. I don't feel like screwing with it. Okay guys, I gotta apologize. I ran out of space on my phone and I lost half the video. The tank is all assembled. It's pretty good quality. I'm really happy with it actually. What you missed in the video is this is our filler neck. This came supplied with the tank. Came with a rubber hose. Goes on there. That would go through your pristine bed. It'll be somewhere in here. I should have easy access. I ordered from Summit. This is also a Tanks INC piece. This boat style filler that would go in the bed, right? The hose will go on here. We'll still use that because it doesn't actually come with a cap. So for right now, I'm just gonna take some painter's tape and just put it over top of this, just so we don't get some kindling in our fuel tank. And yeah, we'll go ahead. I'm gonna have to go underneath the truck, obviously. This piece here, this bar, needs to go. It's actually was a support for the spare tire, I think. It needs to go. The tank will sit in between these two cross members. And honestly, I might rip out this board, well, these two boards. They're not doing anything anyways. And then we can hook up the AN lines without dropping the tank. What I'm hoping, and I think I'm dreaming. I'm hoping that I can use these lines still. Hoping that those lines, because they go down underneath the cab, run over to the frame, and then run up to the motor. I'm hoping I could undo them, put them underneath. It's never going to work, but I was hoping they would reach. I might have to build some extensions if I want to get this on the road today. I got a new hose kit from Evil Energy coming tomorrow from Amazon. I might just have to wait. So anyways, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take these... Oh, geez. That's what happens when your bedside's all caved in. I'm going to go ahead and rip out these two pieces of wood. They're not doing anything anyways. Rip those out. And then we'll go ahead and install it. So, coming along here, guys, I ended up putting the gas tank up. Drilling out the holes. I used the 2 holes from that spare tire cross member I cut out. Then I welded the bolts, kind of hard to see, but I welded the bolts in so you can service the gas tank. We'll have nuts on the bottom. You can just drop it out without removing the bed. So we'll go ahead and get the gas tank back up and nut it on. Okay, so the tank's mostly installed. I got that rollover vent installed. It's a little piece of fuel line. I got this filler installed. Yes, it's sitting really high, but for right now, I'm not sure if I'm even going to keep this one or what, or I could cut it down. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the bed, so I just left it like that for now. I know I said I welded in all these bolts. You can't really see them. Only one of them held. My frame has so much freaking rust flavoring. They all came apart. So I said, screw it, and just put new bolts in, bolted them down. The one that's stuck, it's still in there. So basically all that's left is we got to hook up a ground. I also know that the tank looks like it's crooked in here, but this cross member is actually crooked. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be, but it is. So tank's actually fairly square. This cross member is optical illusion. All that's left is we got to hook up power to the pump, ground the pump, and I think I got to ground the tank somehow. I mean, it should be grounding through the bolts. Also need to look at the instructions because this sender, I'm not sure if you're supposed to ground it on its own. Because I mean, it won't be grounding very well through that gasket. So I got to do that. Figure that out. Anyways, we'll get on it. We'll see if our old fuel lines work. I kind of have a feeling they're going to be too short. We'll go from there. Okay, so the tank's all installed. It's actually Friday night. Took a couple days off on this. Made new AN lines from the tank all the way up to the motor. Well, actually, I spliced in, or extended, I guess you could say, our old return. I ran a new supply. Goes all the way up to a filter down here. Then that heads up to the motor. Wired everything up. I got a nice Deutsch connector here. Goes over to the sender as well. I put nice little rubber boots on the sender. It's filled with about 5 gallons of gas. Haven't even tried it yet, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it fires up okay. Okay, this is gonna be the first fire up with our new fuel system. The Tanks INC tank with the Walboro pump. If it fires up, well, first I'm going to prime it. Make sure we don't got no leaks. Then I'll fire it up if it does, and then we'll check the fuel pressure at the regulator. Pump turned on, that's a good sign. It looks like the fuel gauge is working. Pump's priming. Okay, let's see. How much pressure do we have? Major leaks. Okay, right now it's saying about 35 pounds. We'll fire it up. We might have to adjust that regulator. Right at 58. Maybe 59. It's there. Yeah. Okay, so that's successful. Seems like everything's okay. The fuel pressure is nice and solid, about 59 pounds. I'm gonna go ahead and move my wife's Tiguan. Then we'll go take this thing for a little cruise, see if starts petering out like it used to. What used to happen with the old pump is it'd be okay idling, and once it drove for a bit, it would start to starve because I was using the factory tank, and then it would just start dying and running like crap. So we'll give it a shot, see what happens. Okay, we're gonna set out here, see what happens. So far, so good. Pump's nice and quiet, I love it. Way better than the Amazon pump. Both the ones I used were pretty loud. It's actually Canada Day long weekend, and I was hoping to take this truck in a parade tomorrow morning, so obviously the fuel system's got to be okay for that. I'm gonna head right to the gas station. I only put 5 gallons in it. It's reading just under a quarter. So far, so good. Of course, it pissed rain all afternoon. Hell yeah, no fuel starvation issue there. Okay, I'm gonna shut you guys off and get some fuel, because you guys are actually my gauges. I kind of need them. A little bit of a different outro here, guys. I didn't realize I shot an outro and everything. I lost the freaking audio. So, I don't know what happened. Something happened. Anyways, I've been driving the truck for about a week. I did take it into parade. Did awesome. No issues, no overheating. Fuel system's been great. Actually, honestly, fuel system I've had absolutely no issues for the last week or so. I've been driving the truck quite a bit. I want to thank you all for tuning in. This is kind of a different video for me. If you're interested in the truck at all, there's a whole build playlist. Check it out. Like, share, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. And remember, don't be a punk. Work on your junk. Check you in the next one.